Hey, Jason and Walker. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Papa will be home Wednesday night. Be good.
A really nice way to start out the day out here in your Katahdin show. These three, it doesn't take long to sort them. They kind of do it themselves. We're starting with a really massive type of a buck. One that certainly has the most dimension. You get over the top of him, extremely wide and square down that top. He comes back to the wider hip of the class, really long from that 13th rib on back, and he's really fluid in his movement, most athletic ram out here. We come to a ram here in second. I really like the style of this sheep. He's extended. He's one that from that 13th rib on back, he is surprisingly long. He percentages out the best of this trio. I really like him in that regard. When you compare him to the buck that's going to start with, just not as much muscle when you view him from behind, not quite as big over the top compared to that class winner. Rounding out the class, we've got a really nice kind of a younger, more immature ram out here, one that just doesn't quite have the power that we're seeing in 2 bucks directly ahead of him. A really nice class. Congratulations.
Next class will be senior ram lambs. Placing on the yearling ram class for the Katahdins, first place went to entry number 1341. Salmon Run 480 Power Drive. Salmon Run Farms LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatis, Maine. That ram weighing 295. Second place to 1343. Rhodes 2177, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. That ram 240. And third to 1342, Michaela Kraftke, Winchendon, Massachusetts. That ram weighing 132.
a really nice trio of senior ram lambs out here, and we've got some give and take in these first 2-place rams. The buck we're starting with, really a stylish type of a sheep. I love him on the profile off to the side. He's extended, he's long-bodied, one that balances up extremely well, stands on a good foot. You put your hands on him and he certainly doesn't disappoint. Really big top, comes back to a really wide hip as well, and that's kind of where he has one advantage on the buck here in second. He's just a little wider back there in his pin set compared to that buck. We get into the second place buck, one that I really like in terms of his rib shape and dimension. Big top in his sheep, really round about his rib. He moves real fluid, stays really wide in terms of his base when we set him into motion. One that, again, really a lot of meat and muscle on the top side of this sheep compared to the buck we're going to start with. Again, he's just a notch narrower in terms of his pin set, one that's maybe not quite as true and doesn't have that extra style up front. Coming to the ram here in 3, and one that, again, really like the extension of this sheep. He just gets out-pounded by the bucks ahead of him, one that just doesn't have the natural muscle shape we're seeing in those. A really nice trio. Congratulations.
Our next class will be for Open Show Senior Champion and Reserve Senior Champion Ram. Placing on the class of Senior Ram Lambs for the Katahdin Show, first place went to entry 1345, Salmon Run 645, Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. Second place, first in the junior show, to entry 1344, Salmon Run 640, Lauren Julian, Mantua, Ohio. That ram weighs 269. The first place ram, by the way, weighed 237. Third place in that class, 1346, Raylyn DeRosser, Sabatus, Maine, ram weighing 204.
And your senior champion drive, an extremely high quality set of sheep out here, and in both lineups, taking nothing away from the ones that are back at the pens, but I think all 4 of these really good for their breed. Today for me, I think we've got an easy winner. This yearling ram is just a stout, massive dude. I really appreciate him in terms of his athleticism as well. He's going to be your senior champion. We're going to follow up with the young lady's senior buck lamb for reserve. Congratulations.
Our Open Show Senior Champion Ram was the first place yearling ram, 1341. Salmon Run 480, Power Drive. Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. That ram weighing 295. The Reserve Senior Champion goes to entry number 1345. Salmon Run 645, also Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. That ram weighing 237. Now ready for intermediate ram lambs.
again, a really nice class as we get out here, and maybe not the most uniform in terms of the lineup and profile, but the young ladies we're starting with, one that's just really good in terms of his body shape, really wide down his top. He comes back to the bigger loin, the bigger hip, the most amount of muscle in that stifle as well. He's got a really ideal turn to his rib. I appreciate him for that. He balances up and he moves well. Rather a logical place for me to begin this class. Coming to rams here in 2 and 3, and you got a little give and take. I love the masculinity of the buck that's going to come in too. Really robust in terms of his rib shape, really big down his top. One that walks around on a great set of feet and legs. He's the wider base to this trio up here. I really appreciate that. He's got the most amount of bone work. Maybe not quite as level as the buck we're seeing that's going to start the class. Maybe doesn't have quite the hip shape that we're seeing in the buck that's going to start the class, but I think a really nice kind of ram here. Coming to the ram in 3. Really good profiling sheep. I like the extension, really straight down his top. He handles with enough muscularity up high. Maybe he's not quite as wide back through that loin and hip as what the buck we're standing in second is. One that when we set him into motion really holds himself together. That wasn't really much of a sort for me today. It's kind of a pick 'em. Which one are you going to take? The one that's prettier, the one with the more muscle and directly ahead of him. You come to the ram here in 4, really a robust type of a sheep. One that you love the turn to rib and the mass and the body. With that being said, we're getting a little heavier in that front third. We're getting a little straighter off our rear 2 for me out here in this particular lineup. Rounding out my top lineup, a really long-sided type of a sheep, one with some extension, one that when you put your hands on him, just not as much meat and muscle as you view him from behind. Doesn't have quite the shape we're seeing in the ones directly ahead, but a really nice class. Congratulations.
The next class will be junior ram lambs. Results from our intermediate ram lamb class: first place in open and first in the junior show to 1352. Salmon Run 661. Lauren Julian, Mantua, Ohio. That ram weighing 208. Second place to entry 1348. Rhodes 2213. Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. That ram weighing 159. Third place to entry 1353, Salmon Run Farms LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. That ram weighing 169. Fourth place to 1349, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. Fifth to entry 1347, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. Sixth place to entry 1354, Salmon Run Farms LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. And seventh to entry 1351, Rayland DeRosser, Sabatus, Maine. Following the class in the ring, the Junior Ram Lambs, our next class will be pair of Ram Lambs.
A really nice set of late Ram Lambs out here, and ones that just kind of line themselves up for me when you analyze them off to the side and in their movement. The buck we're going to start with, super complete, really extended type of sheep. When they get this one propped up on a profile, you just got to love the picture he's painting. One, when you get over top of him, he's got way more muscle than what you expect off to the side. Really comes back to a big hip. He's got some shape, just a nice place to start. Ram here in second, I like quite a bit too in terms of his top shape and his rib. He's really round about that rib, good center body in this sheep. With that being said, just doesn't have the extra extension we're seeing in the Ram we're going to start the class with. Come to the Ram here in third, and again, long-sided type of sheep, really extended type of sheep. One, I appreciate him for that. Doesn't handle with as much muscularity up high compared to the two standing directly ahead of him. One that gets just a notch spongier about them toes when we set him into motion compared to those two as well, but a really nice kind of a Ram. Coming down to some more immature Rams out here, ones that just don't have quite the muscle and the mass that we're finding today, and the Rams directly ahead of them, but some easy feeding type of sheep. It's a really nice class. Congratulations.
Next class will be pair of Ram Lambs. Placing on the Junior Ram Lamb class, first place goes to Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. That ram weighing 125. Second place to entry 1355, Salmon Run, 681. Raylyn DeRozier, Sabatus, Maine. That ram weighing 115. Third to entry 1356, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. That ram weighing 124. Fourth place to Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts. Fifth to Michaela Craffey. Placing on the pair ram lambs class, first place goes to Lauren Julian, Mantua, Ohio. Second place, Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Rabers, Habitus, Maine. Third to Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. 4 to Raylyn DeRocher, Sabatus, Maine. And 5 to Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts. Now showing for Open Show Junior Champion and Reserve Junior Champion.
A really good set of junior ram lambs as we get out here for your junior champion. And again, all four of these really nice bucks for their breed, and they all offer some pieces maybe a little different in their type and kind. There's one out here that I find extremely ideal in terms of what I'm looking for in dimension and muscle shape and still having a good look. The young ladies up here to my right are going to have your junior champion ram. We're going to follow with the late ram for reserve. Congratulations.
Our Open Show Junior Champion Ram goes to the first place Intermediate Ram Lamb. Entry 1352, a ram weighing 208. Salmon Run 661, Lauren Julian, Mantua, Ohio. The Reserve Junior Champion for the Open Show goes to the first place Junior Ram Lamb. Entry 1357, Salmon Run 680, Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Rabers, Habitus, Maine. That ram weighing 125. Now ready to show for Open Show Grand and Reserve Grand Champion Ram.
A really impressive set of sheep, and we've seen them walk, and and we've handled them each a few times, so I don't need to go back out here. It's extremely good in terms of quality out here in this male show. I can't wait to get into the females. That being said, I think there's two that are really similar in their type and kind in both your senior and your junior champion today. For me, I think this yearling buck is just a stout-made dude. He's going to go ahead and he's going to be your overall champion today. We're going to follow up with the young ladies for reserve. Congratulations.
Our open show grand champion ram goes to the senior champion ram. The senior champion ram, the yearling ram, entry 1341, salmon run 480, power drive, Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine, 295-pound ram. The reserve grand champion ram was our junior champion ram, first in the intermediate ram lamb class, entry 1352, Salmon Run 661, Lauren Julian, Mantua, Ohio. That ram weighing 208. Now need to show for our junior show champion in reserve. For our junior show champion, that goes to entry number 1352 from the intermediate ram lamb class, Salmon Run 661, Lauren Julian, Mantua, Ohio, ram weighing 208. The reserve junior show champion came out of our senior ram lamb class, entry 1344, Salmon Run 640, also Lauren Julian, Mantua, Ohio. That ram weighing 269. The awards given for our junior show grand and reserve grand champion ram were sponsored by Salmon Run Farms Incorporated, Sabatus, Maine. The Katahdin sheep is an American breed of hair sheep that was developed in the 1950s on the Peel Farm in Maine. It is the result of crossing hair sheep from the Caribbean with various British breeds, especially the Suffolk. In the 1970s, the Wiltshire Horn was introduced to add size and carcass quality to the mix, but eventually selection was against horns. The Katahdin is the most numerous registered breed of sheep in the U.S. So, here's your first Katahdin trivia question. At the 2001 Big E Katahdin Show, who was the exhibitor who won every class? I'm sorry, that was 2021, not 2001. And several folks, it was Salmon Run Farms of Maine.
an extremely pleasing set of ewes out here, and you've got some differences in types and kinds. I find the one that kind of meets everybody in the middle up here at the top end of this class extremely elegant about the front third of her skeleton, really level down her top. She comes back with a really progressively wide hip, and one when you get off to the side, she balances up ever so good. One that's really sound on all four corners. Just an easy place for me to start when we get down to it. Coming to you here in second, definitely the stylish ewe of the lineup. I really appreciated her for that. She's really extended up through the front end of her skeleton. She's leveled down her top. She doesn't have quite the power we're finding in the ewe that we're going to start the class with. Shortens up ever so slightly compared to that ewe as well, but I think two really high-powered ewes up here. Coming to the really heavy muscle type of ewe here in three, I appreciate her for that. One that when you get over top of her, extremely big all the way back through. She's got a good rib shape to her as well. Today she's carrying just a nickel more in terms of cover than I'd prefer to see. But when we set these into motion, she just stays tucked up under herself a little too much compared to the two ewes going to start the class. Then we come to ewe here in four, which maybe a lot of people would be uncomfortable with her up here. I like this sheep a bunch. I think it's great about its corners up front, really square through its chest, square down its top, has a good look from the side, balances tremendously well, so opened up in the center portion of its skeleton, comes back to a bunch of muscles, got the most amount of muscle in its stifle and leg, and I really appreciate her for that. Maybe she's not big enough for a lot of you, and I can certainly understand that. Today, for me out here, I like this one a bunch. Coming to the ewe here in fifth, really a long-sided sheep. She's the longest hind-saddled ewe in this class, one with a big loin in her. One that when we analyze her in terms of the side profile, she gets just a notch deeper in terms of her chest floor today compared to the lineup standing directly ahead of her. She gets just a notch flatter when we view her in terms of shape from behind, but a really good looking long-sided type of a ewe. Going on down, really good class all the way through. Congratulations.
Next class is pair of yearling ewes. Placing on the yearling ewe class, first place goes to entry 1362, Salmon Run 391, Aphrodite. Salmon Run Farms LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. That ewe weighing 210. Second place to entry 1386, Salmon Run 571, Salmon Run Farms LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. That ewe weighing 197. Third place and first in the junior show to 1368, Salmon Run 533, Audrey Julian, Mantua, Ohio. That ewe weighing 223. 4 to entry 1363, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. Fifth place to 1369, also Tim Rhodes. Sixth place to entry 1370, Salmon Run Farms LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. 7 to entry 1367, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. Eighth place to entry number 1366, Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts. And 9 to entry 1365, also Michaela Craffey. Placing on the pair of yearling ewes, first place went to Salmon Run Farms LLC, Leslie Raber. Sabatis, Maine. Second place to Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. And third to Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts. Now ready for senior ewe lambs.
We started top to bottom in this particular class, and when you have one that you go through and she kind of hits you when she walks in, it's sometimes easier just to get her out of the way and then start from there. And that was certainly the case out here. Really robust in terms of her rib shape, really a big top in this female, a bunch of muscle and shape when you view her from behind, yet she moves out really good, really elegant up to the front end. I like this ewe lamb a great deal. Coming to the ewe here in second, really a stylish type of a sheep. One that you like the extra extension up front, one that's really level down her top. She balances up pretty well from the side. Doesn't have quite the rib shape and the top shape we're seeing in the ewe we're going to start with. Come to the ewe here in 3 and 4, and you've got some give and take. The ewe in 3, I really like the rib in this ewe. She's really round-bodied for what she appears off the side. When we set this one into motion, she does want to pinch up on that loin. I'd like to relax her there, but I think she's acting up today. She doesn't want to give them a good stand no matter what. And rounding out the class, a really big rib type of ewe, as we view her over the top. I like that about her. She's long from that 13th on back. When we view her compared to the counterpart, going to stand directly ahead, just not as much top shape, not as true right there through her shoulders compared to that one, and that was kind of the sort on them. I think it's a really good class. Congratulations.
Next class will be for Open Show Senior Champion and Reserve Senior Champion ewe. Placing on the senior ewe lamb class, first place and open first in the junior show to 1377 Salmon Run 521, Audrey Julian of Mantua, Ohio, ewe weighing 191. Second place to entry 1376 Salmon Run 580 Salmon Run Farms LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine, that ewe weighing 154. Third place to 1374 Salmon Run 581 Raylyn DeRoser, Sabatus, Maine, that ewe weighing 148. And fourth place to entry number 1375 Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio.
Well, congratulations to all the exhibitors out here. A really good set of sheep in both lineups and actually on deep through the classes. It's been an extremely good show to this point. We get out here for your senior champion ewe, and it between your senior and your yearling ewe and your senior ewe lamb, and I think these two are really similar in their type and kind. Both really opened up, big top type of sheep, and it's just some differences. We got the yearling ewe who's a notch longer, maybe from that 13th rib on back, and we've got a ewe lamb out here that just offers me more muscle and more in terms of maternal rib shape as well. So they're a little different in that aspect, but today for me, there's one that just kind of hit me when she came out here, and it certainly hasn't changed as she comes out here. The senior ewe lamb is going to be your champion, and we're going to follow up with the yearling for reserve. Congratulations.
Our senior champion ewe for the open show is the senior ewe lamb. Entry 1377, Salmon Run 521, Audrey Julian, Mantua, Ohio, that ewe weighing 191 pounds. The reserve senior champion goes to our yearling ewe class winner, entry 1362, Salmon Run 391, Aphrodite, Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine, that ewe weighing 210. Now ready for intermediate ewe lambs. So, at the 2017 Big E Katahdin Show, who exhibited the champion ram and ewe? 2017. So we're not getting a whole lot of play on this. So in 17, the Big E Katahdin Show, the exhibitor that had the champion ram and ewe was Julian and Moore Sheep Company from Ohio.
a really good class, but extremely challenging in trying to decide on the lineup here. We're starting the class with a really extended type of a female. I love the extension. I love the style of this sheep. When I get off to the side, the way her chest floor is compared to her rear flank, the balance, the femininity, the extension, she just paints a picture off to the side. And yet when you get over top of her, she's got more shape than what I expected. She handles a lot thicker back into that loin. One that when we put everything together, I think she's the one that just kind of has to win the class for me in terms of her build through the front third. Come to the U here in second. This is the one that really gets me excited when I get over top of her. Extremely big racked, comes back to a wide loin and hip, long in that loin as well, and then she's got the extra muscle in terms of her stifle, and I really appreciate her for that. She's round enough in her rib. What I kept having to decide for myself is in terms of her chest, is she good enough to go ahead and beat the one in front of her? And today for me, I just don't think so. I'd like to just bring her up a little bit in terms of that chest, extend her out ever so slightly. She's packing just a notch more condition, but boy, the rear 2/3 of that sheep I like a lot. So it made it a little challenging, and maybe it looked a little different from the side, but this is the way I'm going to go ahead and see them. I think both these are really high quality ewes. Then we come to another ewe that's really complete in terms of her makeup, round in terms of her rib, just doesn't have quite the muscling we're seeing on the top side compared to the two standing directly ahead, one that wants to tuck up under herself ever so slightly when we set her into motion. Coming to the ewe here in 4, really another stylish type of a sheep off to the side, one that you appreciate for that. When we set this one into motion, I'd like her to be a little more secure in terms of her hock placement for me today to be able to ride her higher. And rounding out my top lineup, again, a really nice kind of ewe lamb. She's straight in terms of her lines, just giving up too much in terms of muscle to be able to compete higher in this particular class. Great group of sheep. Congratulations.
Next class is Junior Ewe Lambs. Placing on the class of intermediate ewe lambs, first place goes to entry number 1381, Salmon Run 594, Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. That ewe weighing 154. Second place to 1382, Rhodes 2228, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. That ewe weighing 168. Third place, first in the junior show, to 1379, Salmon Run 596, Audrey Julian, Mantua, Ohio. That ewe weighing 166. Fourth place to entry number 1387, Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. Fifth place to 1384, also Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber. Sixth place to entry number 1385, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. Seventh place to 1380, Raylyn DeRocher, Sabatus, Maine. Eighth place to 1383, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. Another trivia question. Who judged the 2017 Northeast Regional Katahdin Show? 2017 Northeast Regional Katahdin Show at the Big E. And the answer to that question was Dwayne Bach.
Again, another nice class of ewe lambs as we get out here. And in the ewe lamb, we're opting to start with one that's extremely stylish. You like the way she's built in terms of her side profile, really good to her chest floor. One that comes back, she's got a bunch of spring of rib to her, really wide in terms of her loin. She's got that added extension. Is she the truest down her top? No, maybe not, but she's good about her angle. She's good in the move. You come to the ewe here in second, carrying a little more condition than my class winner, maybe a notch more than I prefer in the ewe lamb class here, but one that when you analyze her, I like to turn to her rib. I think she's really big top. She comes back to a wide loin, wide hip, really sound again on the move. If we're going to nitpick on that one, maybe she wants to run downhill a little bit, and that was kind of what I was trying to decide about between her and the one that's going to come in 3. I like this ewe lamb on the profile quite a bit. I think she's extended. She's really good down her top. When I get over top of her, she's just the most immature. She is the youngest one as they lined up out here. One that for me today, when we're judging this show, just not enough there to determine whether she's going to have that turn to her rib, what she's going to have in terms of mass and power down that top. But I think in terms of build, I like that one quite a bit. And then we round out the class with some ewe lambs that just don't have near the power running up against the ewes that are ahead of them today. Really good in terms of their structure. We just need some more power.
Next class is pair of ewe lambs. Placing on the class of junior ewe lambs for the Katahdin show, first in the junior show to 1389, Salmon Run 727, Lauren Julian, Mantua, Ohio, that ewe weighing 135. Second place to 1388, Salmon Run 707, Vivian Julian, Mantua, Ohio, that ewe weighing 140. Third place to entry 1393, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio, that ewe weighing 93 pounds. Fourth to 1391, Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts, and 5 to entry 1392, also Michaela Craffey. Now ready to show for Open Show Junior Champion ewe and Reserve Junior Champion ewe. Placing on the pair of ewe lambs class, first place goes to Audrey Julian in Mantua, Ohio. Second to Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. 3rd, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. 4, to Raylyn DeRocher, Sabatus, Maine. And 5, to Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts.
Again, it's been a really good Katahdin show all the way through, and you get out here into the ewe-lambs, and it gets kind of exciting. You know, they got a bright future ahead of them, I think, all 4 of these, and even on down the line, the ones back at the pens. It's just been an awful good show. Today, for me, I spent a lot of time on a particular class trying to decide which way I was going to go. So taking nothing away from the late ewe-lambs today, the 2 out of the early class are going to go ahead and be your junior and reserve junior champions. Congratulations.
Our Open Show Junior Champion ewe goes to first place intermediate ewe lamb. Entry 1381, Salmon Run 594, Salmon Run Farm, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. That ewe weighing 154. The Reserve Junior Champion came from that same class, second place, entry 1385, Rhodes 2228, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. That ewe weighing 168. Now ready to show for our Open Show Grand and Reserve Grand Champion.
All right, as we get out here in Sword True, all four of these females are extremely, extremely good. I'm really pleased with the quality, and you put your hands on them, and boy, they don't disappoint. They're really sound. They've got some femininity. They got some rib shape and some muscling. Just a really good group, and I kind of had my mind made up which way I was going to go when we came out here, and it's kind of changed as we analyze these again and go through. Just a really good set of sheep. Congratulations to all exhibitors. Let's go ahead and put our hands together. Here's a round of applause as I congratulate your winners.
Open Show Grand Champion U goes to the Senior Champion U. Out of the Senior U Lamb class, entry 1377. Salmon Run 521, Audrey Julian, Mantua, Ohio. That U weighing 191. The Reserve Grand Champion to our Junior Champion from the Intermediate U Lamb class, entry 1381. Salmon Run 594, Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. That U weighing 154. We now need to show for our Junior Show Reserve Champion U. Our overall Grand Champion was from the Junior Show as well. 1377, Salmon Run 521, Audrey Julian, Mantua, Ohio, will be the Grand Champion U, but we'll like to have her come back out to receive her hardware. But along with her, we need to show for the Reserve Champion Junior Show. So we'll need entry 1379 of Audrey Julian from the Intermediate U Lamb class, and also 1389 of Lauren Julian from the Junior U Lamb class in the ring at this time to show for Reserve Grand Champion. And we also need Audrey Julian's Yearling U 1368 on the entry to come back out. For our Junior Show, our Reserve Grand Champion came from the Intermediate U Lamb class, entry 1379, Salmon Run 596, Audrey Julian, Mantua, Ohio. That U weighing 166. And for a photo op, we'd like to have Audrey Julian back out with 1377. That's our Junior Show Champion U and our overall grand champion ewe. We've got some hardware. The hardware from the awards are these pottery pieces, sponsored by Salmon Run Farms Incorporated, Sabatus, Maine. Next up is Exhibitor's Flock. Exhibitor's Flock, please. Placing on the Exhibitor's Flock, first place goes to Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. Second place, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. And third to Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts. Placing on our Breeder's Flock, first place goes to Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. Second place in the Breeder's Flock, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. And third in Breeder's Flock, Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts. We are now ready for Get of Sire. And placing on the Get of Sire class, first place. Oh, now ready for Get of Sire. Placing on the get of sire class, first place in the get goes to Salem Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. Second place to Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. Third to Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts. And to announce our Premier Exhibitor and Premier Breeder Awards, both of those go to Salmon Run Farms, LLC, Leslie Raber, Sabatus, Maine. Congratulations. Our judge today for the Katahdin Show has been Alex Wolf of Ohio. We'll be back in the ring at 1 o'clock today with our Jacob Show. Again, exhibitors, we want to remind you we do need pictures of all the champions and reserve champions, senior champion, junior champion, and overall grand champions, as well as our junior show champions and reserves. Some of you out there haven't gotten caught up, probably from the Lincoln show from last night, since we had to get out of the ring so early because of the demonstration with the herding dogs. So if you didn't get pictures, Catherine will be around to shoot pictures of those as well.